What's going on, guys? Frank Redland here. So today we're taking a break from RCs. We're gonna do some front struts on a 2015 Chevy Impala. First thing you need to do is jack up the vehicle, put it on jack stands, and take off the wheel 22 millimeter or 7/8, and let's get that going. So real quick, jacking up a vehicle, there is a pinch weld right here on all sedans, and you can see you put your jack on there. Don't raise it from the side skirt right here. Raise it from the pinch point on the chassis there. Just a little tip. Alright guys, I just came across another tip. Whenever you have the front end jacked up on a vehicle like this, a sedan, 4-door, a coupe or something, and you want to check the suspension, we know that the struts are bad because it bounces a lot over bumps. But if you want to check your tie rods, you go like this, and you see that movement right there? That's a bad tie rod. Either the outer or the inner tie rod. So that's how you check your suspension. Also, what you can do is check your ball joints by putting a pry bar on the bottom and lifting up and see if there's play on the bottom by going over on the backside, feeling the ball joint, and then prying up and down. If there's any movement there, you shouldn't have any movement. Also, you shouldn't have any movement like this for the tie rods. You can see there's a lot of play there. Shouldn't have that. So in the future, we're going to change those tie rods for this vehicle. Alright guys, so I figured out what was that that looseness right there. It's not the tie rod. If I could grab the caliper here, I could still move the whole knuckle. And what it is your, let's see, right there, it's your there is movement here on the lower ball joint. So on this vehicle, the lower ball joints need to be replaced. The tie rod seems to be fine. There's no play there. There is play on the bottom ball joint there. Either replace the whole thing if it has too many miles, like this one has 132,000 miles or something like that. I would just replace the whole arm complete with bushings and ball joint together instead of just buying the ball joint. Okay, if you're gonna keep the vehicle, I suggest you just buy the complete arm. They're not that expensive, but yeah, that's the problem with this suspension right there. Also the struts, that's why we're replacing the struts. So next thing is we need to remove this. I believe this is an 18 here. 1, 2, 3 right here. This is a Torx T27 if I'm not mistaken, to hold it if it moves the sway rod right there, and disconnect this. This just pops up with the screwdriver. Just pop it up. But let me get that going for you. Alright guys, so using a pry bar, a small pry bar, doesn't matter. It doesn't use any force. It's just prying it up right here. This just comes off just like that. I lied, this one is a 19 or a 3/4 right here. This one is an 18, so you remove these two. Might want to use a wrench on this side so it doesn't move, just like that, and zip it off, and I'll show you the rest. Alright guys, that's loose. Make sure don't drop this knuckle down too much. You don't want to put stress on the lines here and the ABS line down there. Let's see. Now take this off right here. Draw it off a little bit. Alright guys, so the top bolt is not a 22 millimeter or 7/8, it's actually a 15/16, and I'm using a deep socket. Whenever you take this bolt off, make sure to hold the strut because it's gonna fall down. Let's do that. Alright guys, we got the old strut off right here. There's a new one. One thing to note guys, whenever you're taking the strut off, there are two nuts. One goes on the bottom and one goes on top. Okay, do not take the bottom one off because that retains the spring. Okay, if you take that off, the spring is going to be disassembled like this. Okay, you don't want that. Just remove the top nut. If yours has a double nut like this, just remove the top nut. Okay, that is very critical. So don't remove this one, remove the top nut only. Okay, and then yeah, just put this back on there, and then put the top. The new strut comes with a new top plate and nut. Okay. Alright guys, another quick tip here: if you can't get the sway control to get into that bolt because it sits really high, so I just wedge a pry bar, or for this instance I wedged the jack handle right in the frame and the sway ball, and now you can actually put it in through there like that. That's a quick tip. It's very difficult to pry down by hand and then do it the same way, but now like this you can put that sway control back on the bracket. Alright guys, another trick to get the strut bolts in on the knuckle is put a jack stand right at the rotor, not on the plate here, just the rotor part, and then go up on the jack until you line up the bolts, put them in. So I believe these bolts are torqued to 90 foot-pounds, these are torqued to 48 foot-pounds, and then your top bolt to 48 foot-pounds as well. Also put your brake line on there like that. Put your wheel on and torque it to 120 foot-pounds. Alright guys, and that's how you do front struts on a 2015 Chevy Impala. This also pertains to the Chevy Malibu around the same years, 2013, 2017 I believe. That's how you do the front struts. Make sure to do the same procedure on the other side. And thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and see you in the next one.